Everyone's joy in life is adding and subtracting fractions. And why? Because it involves so much mathematical skills. Today, we are going to look at adding and subtracting fractions of different forms. Let's take a look at the first example, is a half plus 3/5. Now, adding fractions, all we need is the same denominators and then we can add them together. Why? Because when we compare fractions, we want their parts to be the same so that we can deal with them in an appropriate way. So if we take the half and the fifth, for example, the lowest common denominator here is going to be 10. So I multiply the second fraction by 2 and the first fraction by 5. This will give us 5 on 10, which is a half, equivalent to a half, plus 6 on 10, equivalent to 3/5. Now that they have the same parts, we can compare them. In this instance, we are actually adding them. 11 on 10, and we're going to change this here to a mixed number. Anytime we have an improper fraction, change it to a mixed number. 10 goes into 11 once and 1 left over, so 1/10. Okay, next question here. We've got two mixed numbers we want to add together. Now, there are two ways that we can do this. I'm going to show you the first one. The first one is by changing both of these numbers to improper fractions. Let's do that. 1 times 3 plus 2 is 5/3. Plus 4 times 6, 24, plus 5 is 29. 29 on 6. Do the same thing. Lowest common is 6. So times the first fraction by 2, we have 10 on 6 plus 29 on 6. Okay, same denominator, add the numerators, 39 on 6. Okay, here we can simplify and then also convert this into a mixed number. So divide by 3, 13, divide by 3, 2, and change this here. 2 into 13 goes 6 times with 1 remainder, 6.5. Okay, the other way we can do this question is, if we didn't convert them to improper fractions, we can do a few special things. Okay, so we need the fraction part of the mixed number to have the same denominator. So we're going to actually do that. So 3 and 6, so we're going to multiply this fraction here by 2. So this is 1 and 4/6 plus 4 and 5/6. So here, if we go ahead and just add that straight away, 1 and 4 is 5, and 4 plus 5 is 9 on 6. You may notice something really strange going on, and that strange thing is that the fraction part of the mixed number is an improper fraction. So we actually have more than one whole going on with that fraction. So if you have a look, 9, it says 9/6. So if we take 6 out of that, would we not have another whole? So instead of it being 5, there is actually 6 wholes, and how much is left over? 3/6, 6ths, and that is equal to, if we simplify, 6.5. Same answer. Why don't you pause the video to see if you can try part C and then come back and have a look at the solution. All right, part C. Shall we attempt this both ways as well? Let's try it by converting to improper fraction, and then let's try it by using the other method that we did before. Okay, very quickly, 3 times 5 is 15 plus 2 is 17. 17 over 5 minus 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 over 4. Okay, 5 and 4. Lowest common denominator is 20. So times by 5 times by 5 times by 4 times by 4. Okay, so at this stage you may be thinking which method is easier to use. Now, I'm going to show you, I'm going to explain why this is right now. So, if we have a look at the first fraction, we're multiplying 17 by 4. So once we start converting them, we're looking at multiplying larger numbers. So this is where your computation might take you a bit of time. So sometimes it is actually easier to use it the second method. So we're still going to do it this way and finish it off. So it would be 68 over 20 minus 55 over 20, giving us a final answer here of 13 on 20, and we can leave it at that, as that. So let's try the other method. 3 2/5 minus 2 3/4. Okay, so we'll do the same thing. Lowest common denominator is 20 times by 4, the first fraction times by 5. You can see here that these, the multiplication here is actually a lot simpler because we haven't converted and not dealing with such large numbers. So we've got 3 8/20 minus 2 15/20. Okay, so let me put a line down here. All right, now if we go ahead and do the subtraction, 3 minus 2 is 1. And we have here 8 minus 15. You will realize we have a negative number. So we will have negative 7 over 20. Okay, so at this stage, you may think, there's something really strange going on here as well. And that strange thing is the negative in our answer, in our fraction part of our mixed number. So in order to get rid of that, we can now look at the whole number that we have. That whole number here actually represents what? What do you think? It represents 20 because we're looking at 20 parts for this fraction. So if we go and borrow from that whole number, we actually will be able to give 20. So this turns out to be negative 7 plus 20. Because 20 on 20 is 1. So all we've done is take out the 1 and use that as 20. So if we go and add 20 to negative 7, what do you know? We have 13 over 20, which is the same answer that you calculated above. So you decide which method you will use. I've outlined the reasons for which method you would use according to numbers that you need to multiply, but you decide what is more comfortable for you.